Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chakshurumilitam yena Tasmai Shri-Gurave Ajnulambita bhujo Kanakavadato Sankirtanaikapitaro Kamalaya Takshu Vishwambaro Dvijagaro Yugadharmakalo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavatarao Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito Gururai Pushpavanto Chitra Samdottamano Vandeham Shri Ramakrishna Abhaya Charano Sakho Sukado Paramanando Sundaro Subhakriyo He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopikakant Radhakanta Namustate Saptakanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwavanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Shri Bhaktivinoda Parivar Ki Jai Gauri Vaishnava Guru Parampara Ki Jai Ananta Gauri Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai O Premanande. Good morning again. Dobre. We're going to continue our discussion centered around Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's participation there, ultimately the Rath Yatra. Last night we ended, as you may recall, with the explanation of how Narada Muni engineered a blessing from the Lord. He had created what he thought was a disturbance in Dwarka that involved inquiring from the queens of Krishna, Rukmini, Satyabhama, about the nature of their love for him, showing respect to them for their intimacy with him and so forth. And in his search that constitutes the substance of the first canto of Brihad Bhagavatamrita, the search for the devotees who got the most mercy. And so when he reaches Dwarka, he speaks with them, and of course, they are denying that they are such recipients of the most mercy. And indeed, what kind of love for Krishna do they have? When he sleeps at night, he's calling out the names of the gopis and gopas of Braj, and so they speak with limited knowledge of the bhav of Braj, having never been there themselves. These are very high royal, sophisticated ladies of the metropolitan, celestial, really, city of Dwarka. And just to recap, of course, Rohini, who's also there and is filled with Braj Bhav herself, begins to further elaborate on the Braj Bhaktas and Braj Gopis in particular. And Krishna overhears, so transformations of his body occurred that constitute the form in which Jagannath is appearing. And of course, Balaram, Subhadra, upon seeing Krishna's transformation, they underwent the same sattvika vikara to an extreme. I mentioned that Rupa Goswami had said in Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu, after explaining or elaborating on the 8 sattvika bhavs, he gave a 9th one for Vatsalya bhav, which is milk flowing spontaneously from the breasts of the ladies in Vatsalya bhav. But besides that, said there are others like perspiring blood and so forth, but I'm not going to go into them because they're so rare. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experienced these and more. This is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that one in particular, and others that are kind of off the map, so to speak. I mentioned that all of Rupa Goswami's examples of Sattvic Bhav are of those in the Leela rather than of sadhakas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in a sadhaka deha, so to speak. He's Krishna in his Acharya Leela, so he's as a devotee, dressed as a devotee, and undergoing all these, experiencing these Sattvic Bhav to the extreme. Typically, the devotee will experience one or two, or uh, um, it would be difficult to contain them in this body. We don't have many examples of sadhakas, but sadhakas means also bhava bhaktas, as explained by Rupa Goswami. Although there's a division between sadhaka, sadhana bhakti, and bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti. Still, bhava bhakti is not yet the perfection. There's a churning of the emotional aspect of bhakti. In sadhana bhakti, we're going through the physically through the motions. It's not being driven by uh, spiritual emotions. But in bhava bhakti, the same physical activities of hearing and chanting, for example, are relative to bhava bhakti, but that's being driven by transcendental emotion. But that emotion is a ray of the sun, of, as Rupa Goswami explained.
Haribo, there's no sound. What's going on?
Think it got disconnected from there and
Bummer. I tried to go on YouTube, but it wasn't there. Trying to connect it to the TV, but I can't get the AirPlay to work.
I just think that the connection is really weak there. It's usually very weak there. But I wrote to Madan Mohan and my husband, who is there to kind of check it. But maybe let's wait a second and see what will happen, if anything.
yeah, let's wait. Thank you.
I didn't get any answer from both of them, and it looks like the messages didn't arrive, like they didn't got it. It's just this one mark. So I guess the internet is really weak there. So
Yeah,
yeah, so
I think we should leave just. I don't think so they'll be able to connect now.
yeah. I said
Yeah.
there's a normal message as well. So it's in the valley, in the mountains, so it's perhaps the internet. But
That's a
yeah.
bummer.
Yeah.
but we'll see each other in the evening.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Thank you. Haribol.
Haribo, we'll have to watch on YouTube later, I guess.
Yes, Haribol.
Haribo, nice to meet you both.